Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we'll be talking about the 5 biggest surprises in Fast X. Of course, spoilers ahead if you haven't seen the film. We also have a review, non-spoiler review for the film. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Link will be in the description of this video, or you can find it on our channel. So make sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe button for stuff like this. So yeah, as I mentioned, there's 5 different things that I want to talk about in this film. Um, and as we get through the story, let me give you a quick synopsis. I know you've seen the film if you're sticking around. Uh, so Dante, who is the son of the villain from Fast Five, has come back to really ruin Dominic Toretto's life and take apart the family. It starts by framing the team for a terrorist attack in the Vatican, and from there, they're disavowed by the agency. Mr. Nobody is nowhere to be found at the moment, so we have this new character, Ames, played by Alan Rickson, who's taken over. He's the one that now is kind of chasing also the team and Dom. So it's a really interesting film in the fact that there's 2 opposing forces, or so it seems, chasing after Dom. So my first biggest surprise for me was Alan Rickson's turn into a villain, or he's a co-villain of this film, I guess. So all throughout the film, we know that Ames is kind of he's proposed to be an antagonist in the film, but not because he's just kind of doing the agency's job, right? They have to disavow the team, but then in the third act, we're hit with a reveal that Alan Rickson had been working with Dante this whole time, and they've actually set up Dom in this like really elaborate scheme at the end to take him out. Which I think it's an excellent use of Alan Rickson, the character. I love how imposing he is in film, and I do think that he played the character so well that for the the biggest run of the movie, like we thought he was just doing the agency's. He was trying to look out for the best interest of the agency, whereas we didn't really know that the end goal was to really help out Dante with everything that was happening. That was very shocking, very interesting reveal. I can't wait to see how this team of Dante and Ames is gonna, how that's gonna go in the next few films, because it looks like they're really the big bats now. Um, On to surprise number 2. Let's talk about, we have 2 new characters. One was not really a surprise. We have Tess, who's played by Brie Larson. From the beginning, we had been told that she's Mr. Nobody's daughter, so that was not a big surprise. But we do have Daniela Melchior. You may recognize her from the Suicide Squad. Also, she was recently in Guardians of the Galaxy, although she was not as recognizable there. We're introduced to her in a street race in Brazil, and she's one of the 4 racers. Dom helps her not be blown up when Dante's up to his trickery and cheating to win the race. Um, and it is later revealed that she's actually Elena's sister, Elena, who is little Brian's mom and used to be the love interest for Dom until she was killed by Cypher and Lady came back. So now this reveal, I think, surprised a lot of people. I think what's really funny is that this reveal did not surprise Dom. Dominic Toretto knew, like he could just tell by the look in her eyes. It was a really interesting scene. A lot of this movie is like Dom is so over the top, but yeah, that was a very interesting reveal. I like it because I think Danielle Melchior is a great actress, and I think also I wanted to see more of her character. I kind of wanted her to join the team, and now she really has, and she is family now, right? Like connected by blood with little Brian, and technically like aunt or whatever. So yeah, very interesting reveal. So I'm looking forward to seeing her in the rest of the franchise. Let's talk about John Cena. John Cena delivers a performance here as if he had just watched I think the Vin Diesel movie The Pacifier, where he's kind of like tough guy but has to be a babysitter. That's kind of his role in this film. I'm sorry, I would not be surprised if he doesn't get a film like that, unless he's probably already done something like that. But yeah, John Cena is the one who's Jacob. He comes in to rescue little Brian and Mia. Now Mia goes off to to be with her family, um, but little Brian has he goes with Jacob to a rendezvous point where it all kind of settles in at the end of the film. But I was not expecting Jacob to die. I didn't really think anybody from the team was gonna die. Um, Man, what an interesting stint in the Fast and Furious franchise for John Cena to be in two movies. I felt like he was kind of brought in to take on the role of The Rock, in that presence of, like, the assist, big tough guy. He gets one of the coolest scenes in the movie as well, like that action sequence in the house. But yeah, he dies after having spent most of the movie with little Brian, trying to get him to Dom, and that's pretty like that hit hard at the theater. That was interesting that such a new character would be such a large presence. So, all right, there's two big spoilers and the next two surprises. So, the fourth biggest surprise, or I guess the next surprise, and this one's really big, the reappearance of Giselle. Now, at the end of Fast and Furious 6, Giselle dies. She falls out of an airplane, or she falls out of the airplane onto the exploding runway. I am very interested in trying to figure out how they're gonna act like like, I don't know, whatever this story is gonna be of how she's alive and how she hasn't contacted Han for so long. Maybe she also thought Han was dead, and now that he's back. But it's been it's been a few years since the last one. So, anyways, yeah, Gal Gadot's back as Giselle. I guess she has some free time now that she's not being Wonder Woman, at least for now. So that was a big surprise, and it's going to be interesting because she seems to be, if not working with, at least aligned for the moment with Cypher. So we'll see how that plays out, or maybe, yeah, I don't know, because Cypher and Letty are both in Antarctica, in the black site prison that the agency put him in, and Giselle's the one that shows up in a submarine to rescue them. So that was really really interesting. Also, as I talk about some of this stuff, I can hear myself and the nonsense that I'm saying. So, but that just goes to show how much these films are just full of bonkers stuff that make it really enjoyable. All right, the last and the biggest surprise, I really think, for me was the end credit scene that marks the return to the franchise of Luke Hobbs. Now, before we get into the character stuff, let's talk a little bit about the real life shenanigans. It's a well known fact that Vin Diesel and The Rock had some issues going forward after a few of their films, right? They like it was almost to the point where they pretty much said that they hated each other. Now, they probably, I don't know, it could be, in the world of wrestling, they call it a work. Maybe we've all been worked really hard, and this was all for show. Maybe it's something that it was a shoot that turned into a work. Um, who knows? Maybe it was just a real life situation that they used to, let's use this PR. Like, they're both very smart business people. Like, they have a lot of very smart business people helping them make their decisions that they make. So that's going to be an interesting one. So yeah, but I think the other thing that I really enjoyed was that Luke Hobbs is getting the same treatment. I think the next film will feature a lot of Hobbs going through some of the hardships, or I think it should, some of the same challenges that Dom. Like, he gets, Dante also blames him for everything. He wants to do the same thing he's doing to Dom. So that's going to be real interesting. I'm glad the character's back. As much as I enjoyed Hobbs and Shaw, I don't think they had any plans to keep going forward with that. I would like to see what their plans was for their big villain, like that corporation or whatever. Maybe they'll loop it in now with some of this Dante stuff and the agency, and maybe that'll be another component of the film. Maybe the next, so they've broken up Fast X into three parts. Maybe part two will be like a Hobbs and Shaw part two kind of. We know that Shaw has gone off to try to save his mom because she also has a bounty on her head because of everything that Dante's doing. So yeah, what a shocking twist. I'm so glad The Rock is back in this franchise because this is one of my favorite franchises for him. Uh, I wish the only other thing I wish they would do is maybe another Scorpion King film. I think that'd be really fun. But nonetheless, as far as the Fast and Furious franchise surprises go, like these were some big ones, and it was very fun stuff. As I mentioned, I have a review video in the channel, but let me know down in the comments what was your biggest surprise, what was your biggest unexpected thing. Make sure to mark spoilers in the comments. We don't want to ruin the film for anyone. But yeah, as always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, movie reviews. I'm doing a bunch of retro movie reviews because I've been into a kick of just watching a lot of movies. So, like, I might as well make some videos out of it. Also, we're still continuing with our Blue Orange Theory poster movie series, which we've already done a couple, and let me tell you, it's been quite alright so far. Next movie should be coming up pretty soon as well, so stay tuned in the channel for that. And let me know what else you'd like to see some videos about. Any specific films, TV shows, comics, all that fun stuff. You know, we love content here. So yeah, make sure I'll probably go back and watch Fast X again at some point in the theater because it was a very entertaining experience. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.